You see the dog in the background? What's up? What's up? The internet. How are we doing? How are we doing tonight? My name is Kojo Sarfa. I'm checking in from what was a very sunny day here in Los Angeles, California. We have a bonus show for you all today. I missed the live stream yesterday. I wasn't able to get to it. The Wi-Fi was acting up. My Spectrum was acting up. I guess they heard me talk about, people on the spectrum and different things about autism, and they got jealous. But I couldn't get on the live stream yesterday, so I'm on here today, and I'll be on here again tomorrow and the day after that because I'm in a good mood, and we're celebrating 800,000 followers, which we should reach soon. So let's go ahead and get into it. And the first thing that we have to do is introduce ourselves. So there's a little bit blurb about me. It's a little blurb about me here, and then we're gonna get into everybody here. What's up? How are you doing, Emily Turner in the house. Emily, how are you doing? You really saved me with a lot of stuff you share. I really appreciate you. Emily, I really appreciate you too. Thank you so much. Your attention means everything. And the more followers we get and the more eyeballs we get on this movement, we'll be able to do anything and help everybody or help as many people as possible. I truly believe that we can help as many people as possible the more we get the word out. So I appreciate you, Emily. And I'm happy that the content is helpful because, I put a lot of time and energy into this. So I want to know that we're going somewhere with the content. So I really appreciate you, Emily Turner, and I'm rooting for you. And Emily, where are you from, Emily? I want to know. I'm checking in from Los Angeles on a Tuesday, California night. I'm not going out for Halloween, so I'm kicking it with y'all. Meet to Emily and Leanne. Leanne, how are we doing? Well, this yeah. Emily, so you must be new here. This live stream, the one I'm doing tomorrow, the one I'm doing the day after that, any live stream that I've done will always be on my page. So if it's late for you where you're at, if you're in Richmond, Virginia, Tallahassee, Florida, on the East Coast, or wherever you're at, don't worry. This live stream will go on as scheduled, and you can always go back and watch this live stream. So if you have to check out because you got work in the morning or something like that, you'll be fine. This live stream will be there in the morning. So watch at your own time. I want to make sure that it has to be convenient for you, right? So watch at your own time. So helpful. That's so kind from Tulsa, but graduating college and looking for jobs in California, New York. That's what's up. I mean, if you ask me, I'll say California, but if I didn't live in California, I would live in New York. So either way, I think you'll do great. But if you want to come to LA, come out to LA, be a part of the home team. But if not, we will wish you the best in New York City or New York. I don't know why I assume New York City. Angel Gabriel's here. Hello, thank you for talking about unmasking. I'm 24 and learning how to do so. And the more authentic I feel, the more better I feel. So, Angel, let me go ahead and give you a love of the show. You get the first love of the show, right? And I'm 30, about to be 31. I forgot how old I was for a second. But I'm learning how to unmask as well. And the more I do that, the more authentic I feel and the better I feel as well. And we can see why those with ADHD, autism, neurodivergent individuals, or anybody who's felt like an outsider, anybody who's had to mask, you'll see why you felt so bad as a kid because you didn't feel like that was really you. So we're gonna get you back to yourself. That's what we're trying to do. That's my objective with these 3 tips. Brandy from Ohio. Brandy, what's going on? How you doing? Leanne is in Calgary, Canada. Okay, I got a lot of love for my Canadians. What's up, Leanne? How are we doing? Your videos about eating disorders have really saved me. I'm just happy that the content has reached you. It's kind of difficult talking about eating disorders because, these platforms, not that they don't support the eating disorder content, but eating disorders can be very, very dangerous. So sometimes they kind of flag the videos. And I don't blame them for that, but we have contacts with all the platforms, Facebook, Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We have contacts with all those platforms, and I'd love to do whatever I can to, get into those rooms and talk to those people and let them know that I want to talk more about eating disorders. I really appreciate you and what you're doing. My 6-year-old has autism, and he is absolutely amazing. Yet often misunderstood. Love the acceptance you share. Love the show for Ellen's son. Yeah, he's an awesome kid. I don't even know who he is, but he's an awesome kid. He just we have to create a world for him where he can thrive, right? Thank you. I also relate hard to stuff you post about having trouble waking up, like my natural sleep schedule so late. Same here. I would love that so much. I'm having too much trouble hitting with school and assignments, just hoping for the best, but unsure. Emily, I don't know what's going to happen with anything. I'm unsure about every single thing. I mean, I'm sure about what I know, but we don't know what tomorrow holds. So we just do our best to stay in the present and just figure out how to, help ourselves and help out other people. All right. And let me go through the comments, and now I'll get to the three tips. Let me go through the comments. How would one go about figuring if their partner has alexithymia? And if so, how can one help? So, Ivar, good question, by the way. This is something that this is a symptom, right? It's not a diagnosis. Just not being able to be really sure about how you feel or being unable to express how you feel. And normally, when you go to mental health provider and they give you a diagnosis and things like that, that's where you can really figure out if you have that. But if you know a little bit about alexithymia and you read about it and you relate to it, you could identify with it and you could start preparing in advance before you see a mental health provider. This is diagnosed with autism and got bullied very heavily. Julia, that's why we're going to help you feel better, because we're going to help you love yourself more. And Juliet's in Florida, by the way. What's up? What's up? You feel like you have a lot more energy when you just allow yourself to not use that energy to keep yourself down. Yeah. And we don't realize that we're doing this, and look, nobody, for the people who are watching right now and then the people who watch on the back end, nobody woke up and started hating themselves. Think about that. Nobody woke up and they're like, I hate myself. I hate myself. That's not how it works. You grew up and you saw how society treated you, and you decided to kind of adjust and pivot until you can get more validation and more acceptance. And you adjusted yourself so much to the point that you realize that this is not who I am, but people like me when I do this. So let me just keep it up, right? So we're gonna try and reverse that. Not try. We're going to reverse that. And Wolf Dreams, I love the guitar. I love the guitar. I could play it for hours. It's kind of scary to just pick it up. And talking about people with ADHD having a hard time sleeping, I could pick it up tonight, and then I might put it up for 2 hours. It's really scary. Been trick or treat all night, ready for bed. Oh yeah, Ellen, check out this video in the morning if you have to. No wonder. Yeah, I was like, no wonder why. Because I was like, why are people asking if the video will be there in the morning? I'm like, oh, it's 9:54 in California, so it's 12:54 on the East Coast. Yeah, all right. I was a bartender, so I have a whole show, not just a mask. Leanne, a lot of people have a whole show, So, but look, Leanne, let's say you want to move to Hollywood and become an actor or actress. You'd be a great actress because you've been wearing this mask your whole life. Ari Nick says, I love your videos. I've been thinking about if I'm autistic or neurodivergent, and your videos about neurodivergent and other mental health content has really helped me feel better about myself. Ari Nook, I appreciate you. And I like what you said. It's very important for us to feel good about ourselves. Nobody talks about that, but how you feel about yourself is so, so, so important, especially if you're neurodivergent, or really for anybody, for that matter. But how you feel about yourself is very important. You have to like who you are. You have to like who you're becoming as much as you can, right? Sometimes it's hard, if you're self-sabotaging or maybe you don't like the way you look. There's a lot of reasons why you may not like yourself, but we need to be putting in effort towards loving ourselves. It's very, very important. Hey, Twist, I appreciate you. I got the Mario tonight. My sleep is 4 a.m. until noon. I like that sleep. If I didn't have to be a functional person in the morning, I would love 4 a.m. until noon. That's me personally. I would love that. Got diagnosed with ADHD at 26 right before the pandemic. Ooh. Well, what a time to be diagnosed. Now I'm newly 30, and your videos have been really helpful. Thank you. Haley, I appreciate you. And the first movie that we're going to release, my entertainment company, it has to do with a lady who gets diagnosed with ADHD late in life. And it's going to be a really good movie. I can't wait until we can get that going. So hopefully, just looking at your comment, Haley, that short film and that movie that we come up with, it should really hit home for you, so I'm excited. Danita from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Danita, what's going on? We got Diva Cassandra, almost 1 a.m. in Apopka, Florida. 54. My 85-year-old mother does not like me. I'm asking and trying to set boundaries at all. She worsens my chronic pain, but I'm still. All right, so look, I'll say this about this comment, Mrs. Cassandra. Our parents, and I made a post the other day where I said, forgive your parents if you can, if possible. As you get older, you realize that they're doing the best that they can. And if like your parents abuse you or like did something awful to you, like I'm not talking to you or I'm not talking to you. But what I'm saying is our parents don't understand where we're coming from. And as like your mother's 85, but she's still growing up. She's never been 86 before. She's never been 85 before. She's been 84. She's been 83. She's been 23. But she's never been 85. So she really is on her own journey. And I've had to look at things from that perspective. So that way I can tell myself, my parents don't hate me. They just don't understand me. That way I can preserve my relationship with my parents. And my parents are my heroes, and I love them very much. Newly diagnosed ADHD. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You hated yourself for 7 years. You were cut along before you were diagnosed. Well, Juliet, I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're alive. And we're gonna work on loving ourselves a little bit more. I relate so much. Hey, that's what's up. Autism, ADHD acceptance is the future thanks to creators like you. Ellen, I appreciate you. I don't sleep or I sleep too much. Sometimes that's me too. I'm dealing with ADHD and anxiety. Any tips? Yeah, let me ask you some questions real quick, and then I'll get into the 3 tips about how to unmask. Because it's kind of like a smaller show, so it's like an intimate crowd. We can do whatever we want to do. And Leanne, I wish I could do this, but the way my company works, I can't really do this. ADHD and anxiety, any tips? So Fernando, there's a lot that you can do, right? You have ADHD and anxiety is such a wicked combo, right? Because the ADHD makes it hard for you to do the damn thing, right? And the anxiety is worse when you don't do the damn thing, right? So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But that's where you are now. That's not where you are tomorrow, because you came on this live stream today, and I'm gonna give you a couple of tips, right? So what I can say with this is, if there's a task that you have to do that takes a minute or less, Fernando, try your best to just do it then. Just do it then. You know, it's gonna relieve the anxiety of, oh, I gotta do this later. Try not to put it off. Try not to put, and any time that you're able to do this, give yourself a pat on the back. Congratulate yourself. It's a small win. The small ones become big wins, right? The small ones become big wins. We know that action defeats anxiety, but ADHD makes it hard to take action. So what does it make you think you're supposed to do, right? We don't know what we're supposed to do. So action will defeat anxiety, okay? And then also with ADHD, let's say you're not medicated and you're trying to get a certain thing done, right? Whether it's a group project or whether you're whatever you're trying to do, just take that task, focus on that task to the best of your ability, but get all your tools, get everything you need, sit down, and then try and work on that task. Don't judge yourself for what you're not able to do, right? Do not judge yourself for what you're not able to do. Let me say it one more time. Do not judge yourself for what you're not able to do, because when you try to do things, a lot of things, the chances that you get everything done is highly unlikely with ADHD. So do not judge yourself, because I struggle with this as well. You know, and I have family and friends and people who encourage me the same way I'm encouraging you all. Do not judge yourself for what you cannot do. Focus on what you can do and let that build your self-esteem over time. And we'll get there. It's a great question. Great question. The sleeping for hours after stressful event make you think of a symptom of anything? Ivar, based off of what you've told me here, I can't think of anything specifically. And let me address this real quick. Someone says, why don't you credit the creators you make shorts of? So here's the thing. When I stitch the videos, I go back and to the best of my ability, I comment that person's name on there. And I'm like, hey, go follow Matt or Morgan or whoever I'm stitching. Go follow these creators, because when I stitch these creators' videos, I don't want just to get like attention and stuff to my page. I want you all to go and follow those creators. So my intention is for y'all to go follow those creators. I have almost 4 million creators, and I have a much bigger platform than all the people that I've stitched. So I want those creators to get, I want them to get views as well. I want them to get follow. I want them to get everything that I'm getting, because they're putting out a good message. So people don't understand that a lot of times if I post a video and that video gets 1.3 million views and I put a comment underneath that video, people may not see that comment. So it might look like people said content theft or something like that. And I'm not even upset about that, because you don't know who I am. You don't know my platform. So if I'm a random person on the internet just sitting there reacting to the video, then I can see why y'all are upset. So I'm not upset or offended at all. You know, you can make everybody happy. And sometimes you may unintentionally offend people, right? But what I'm going to start doing now on the reaction videos is I'm going to start putting their @ names in the video, so that way you all can see the creator and it's like clearly visible. I did that with one video, and then I was talking to my assistant, and we're like, this makes sense. So that's what we're going to do moving forward. And I think that's only fair to do, because I know how the algorithms work. Sometimes if I post their name in the comment, Yelp may not see their name, and then y'all may not be able to follow them. Let me ask the questions for a couple more minutes, and then I'll get into the 3 tips. I saw a recent video regarding your late ADHD diagnosis being influenced by your background and culturally mental health problems being ignored. Is ADHD not a mental illness? Oh, no, it is a mental illness. Siren. ADHD is a mental illness. It is. It is. Some folks don't say that it is, right? And I remember working at the inpatient state hospital in a psych facility, and people who had depression or anxiety or ADHD would say, "Oh, my nerves are bad, but like I don't have mental health. Mental health is that guy over there," and they'd point to the guy who's hearing voices, who's schizophrenic. But ADHD is most definitely a psychiatric condition. I do believe it's the most treatable one, but it is a mental illness. It definitely is a mental illness. Diamond, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Diamond. Where are you from, Diamond? Don't aim for perfect. Aim for yeah. So going back to the guy who was talking about ADHD and anxiety, perfect is better than done. Please remember that, because I've lost so much sleep over trying to be perfect. I no longer want to be perfect. I just want to get the thing done, and over time we'll get better. But perfect is better than done. So plans creatively. Thank you so much for saying this. This is definitely a love of the show. I love the show. I'm not a big coffee drinker. It gives me the bubble guts. That means I sit on the toilet for a little bit too long. Let me see. Put in the video description or pin your comment. People. All right. Okay. No. This is constructive feedback. This is constructive feedback. Let me take a photo, and then I'll let my assistant know, because it's really difficult to keep up with every single platform. But this is constructive feedback. So I don't know your name here, but thank you very much. And once again, whether it's this issue or any other issue, if you have an issue with me online or something, whatever, or if you just want to say you don't like me, that's fine. But if you have an issue and you also have a solution, I would love to know the solution, because I'm a solution-focused person. So thank you very much for this. I do appreciate that. I'm struggling with college because my ability to stay focused. What would you suggest? So Angelina, it depends on a lot of things, right? Sleep will help. Sleep will help. Sleep is one of the best things that we can do for our focus. But if there is some type of underlying mental health condition, then, addressing that could be what's necessary, right? And done is better than perfect. Oh, perfect. Wait, hold up. Not perfect is better than that. Done is better than perfect. Yeah. I got confused for a second. I was like, hold up, what's going on? Diamond from Chicago. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, Diamond. Let me see. So Syra, ADHD and autism are both mental health conditions, and they are neurodevelopmental, right? Meaning that more than likely this is how you were born. Your brain is born this way. And people are still looking into studies about if you can develop ADHD later in life, so that's something that we're still looking into. I'm still looking and researching it into that. But ADHD and autism are genetic, to my knowledge, and you're born with it. Really, really good. Like, I like the interaction. I like what's going on. I like what's going on. Someone said trauma from verbal. And look, so Vanna, growing up neurodivergent, having the mask and not feeling like you belong to any type of like community, that can be a very traumatic experience. It can be a very traumatic experience. And that's going to lead me to the first tip right here. Let me see how your brain is wired. Yeah. Plans creatively. I love your feedback. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like this. Yeah. And I tell everybody that follows me on the internet this, I tell patients this, I tell friends who reach out to me and they're autistic or they have ADHD or whatever. I say, hey, your brain is just wired differently. You're not worse than anybody else. Your brain is just wired differently. Okay. Your brain is just wired differently. And ADHD, no, there's a big difference between ADHD and autism. They're different. They're different. You can have both. And what I normally see is people normally get diagnosed with ADHD first. And once that's treated, the autism becomes like in clear view. And then as clinicians, we can see what's going on. I'll say I was gonna drop my first tip, but I got caught up looking at y'all's questions. So let me keep going. Let's keep the show going. Let's keep the show going. I was told my ADHD was a coping mechanism to survive my abusive childhood trauma. Now that I'm slowly getting out of survivalship wave, I'm finding anxiety is more present and the ADHD is taking a step back. Is this even a thing? Aiden, so I don't believe ADHD is a coping mechanism. That's just me. But a lot of people like, yeah, we mask. Yeah, we do things to accommodate and make up for our lack of focus and this, that, and the third. But some people are able to get their symptoms under control without getting professional help, whether they built a system or whatever. But a lot of people are able to get things under control and the ADHD doesn't feel as difficult. I would say those people are in the minority, but I've seen that. I've seen that. So your experience is definitely valid. ADHD has affected my life, perspective, and hobbies greatly, and I've learned to make this vice into one of my greatest. Okay, cool. Appreciate you, Michael. Thank you so much. Ellen, thank you so much for coming through Sensitive Kindergarten this year. And after 3 years of an amazing school for kids with developmental differences, I can tell it's exhausting. Alan, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. How can we tell him that? How can we tell him that he can just be him while he's at home? We want this to be his happy, safe space. Well, all right, Alan, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it. The 3 tips. I've kept y'all waiting for too long. And Alan, if you have to go, this will be here. If you're watching on Facebook, this live stream will be here tomorrow morning after the fact. If you're watching on YouTube, this live stream will be here tomorrow morning after the fact. So if you have to check out, I do understand that. I do understand that. So the first tip on how to unmask, observe what feels like you when you're alone. What feels like you when you're alone. All right. Doesn't mean what feels like you when you're alone. Right now, I'm pretty much alone outside of the people who are watching this, right? I'm here. My dog is right there. My brother's in that room. But in this room, in this space right here, I'm alone. Nobody's observing me right now, right? So let's say I'm trying to learn how to unmask. And I want to know what feels like me when I'm alone, right? I'm here. Nobody's watching me. If I'm watching a video on YouTube, I'm going to laugh a certain way. Like, that's crazy. Oh, that's funny. That's great. Oh, that's wild. That's how I laugh, right? If I'm watching football, if I'm watching my Titans play and I'm watching by myself, when we score a touchdown, I'll be like that's just how I am when I'm watching football. All right. Now, if somebody's here with me, right? Let's say it's a girl that I'm talking to. I want to date this girl, right? So I really care about what she thinks. So if I'm watching a YouTube video, instead of laughing really hard, I might be like, like I might be trying to look smooth for her. I'd be like, no, that's funny. That's funny. Because I'm affected by my perception of her perceiving me, right? If I'm watching my team play on TV and she's around, I might be like, touchdown, yeah. It's really hard to just let loose. It's hard to let loose because you've been conditioned as a young and as a child that you have to be a certain way for people to accept you, right? So when you're alone, just observe what feels like you, right? When you're by yourself and you're comfortable at home and you don't have to mask, what type of emotions do you have, right? And let's say you're out in public, socially, talking to people, interacting with the community, right? When you're talking to these people and you're doing your best to be yourself, right? If you have similar emotions that you had when you were home, that could be a sign of progress, right? And we all have our own idiosyncrasies and things that make us weird and different, right? And some of us might like I'll do the little, when I start my live streams, I go like this. That's something that is become me at this point, right? But if there's a pretty girl here and I'm like trying not to be judged, I'll be like, but just let it loose. Just let it loose. Just go ahead. Just let it loose. Be like, just be you. But it's really hard to be you. And nobody understands how difficult it is to be you until you make an intentional effort to be yourself, And at least in my experience, right, I post these videos for you all online, right? I talk about mental health and and everything, right? And the videos, it'll be a reaction video, it'll be a skit that I made on my own with friends. I might be talking on the news, I might be talking somewhere. There's so many different pieces of content that I post, right? And I've learned that as I'm making these videos, right, and I'm trying to bring things to life, that I'm becoming more of myself. And I'm becoming more of myself because of repetition. I'm working really hard at these videos. I'm also taking acting classes. I've been acting classes for a year. Yeah, over a year now. You know, I went to acting classes so that it would help me out with my stand-up comedy and different things that I want to pursue. And I had this issue in acting class where I would perfect example. This is the perfect example of masking, right? We had a scene, and it's me, one man, one girl. We're going back and forth in this scene, right? And then maybe it's masking, maybe it's me being trained to, post for TikTok, right? After posting on TikTok for so many years. But in the middle of the scene, right, I'm talking with my scene partner, right? And then I did something as a gesture to the crowd. I was like, I acted to the crowd. And afterwards, the acting teacher was like, hey, Kojo, focus on your scene partner. Keep all the extra stuff. We don't need, the audience, we don't need that. Focus on your scene partner. Focus on your scene partner, you know? And it comes from, and I'm a fairly confident person, but like I know that when I present myself in certain ways, I'll be accepted more and it'll just be less for me to have to deal with. And the older I've become, right, and the more that I'm on my journey to unmask, I'm just letting, of course, you'll be respectful of everybody, you can do your thing, but I'm becoming more of myself, right? So observe what it feels like when you're alone, because this is who you are without people's judgment, without their perception. This is who you truly are. This is who, if you were this person in public, you'd feel so much better about yourself, right? So if you're watching right now, and let's say you're watching and you're in your underwear, you're eating a cup of ice cream, your bed's dirty, the dishes are in the sink, but you're having a good time. Have a good time. That's who you are. Have a good time. And when you're around people and you're in a social setting and you're at a party, if you're able to do any of that type of stuff around them, you're making progress. You're more comfortable. I see this a lot with people who are neurodivergent and who are trying to unmask. You may have a hard time being seen, right? It could be difficult to post content online. It could be difficult to talk in front of the class. It can be difficult to give a presentation at work because you just don't like this feeling of being seen. You feel like they can see you or like they can see through you or like everybody knows that there's something wrong with you and you're the last one to figure it out, So observe how you feel when you're by yourself, right? And let me see. How people will be creative brain differences are okay. Um, and let me see. Let me ask this question real quick. Can it be healed? I, I don't like to look at things from we have to heal this. I like to look at it from okay, this person has ADHD, OCD, depression, anxiety. Cool, boom. We'll come up with a game plan and set you up for life. I'm not trying to eradicate the disease. If I could, I'd snap and then you wouldn't have it, but that's not possible, right? How would you suggest observing by feeling for people with the common struggle of alexithymia? So, Siren, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. What I would say when it comes to alexithymia and not knowing what to feel or what you're feeling or needing time to process like how you feel about something, you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. So if I'm somebody's therapist and I'm in the office and I'm helping somebody out with this, I will give them certain reminders. I will say, I don't know is a completely acceptable response. So if I ask you a question and you don't know the answer, I'm like, just tell me you don't know. You don't have to know everything right now. I would much rather you tell me I don't know than to lie. If you lie, it's not a bad thing. You will not be kicked out the office because you lied. You won't be kicked out. If anything, just learn to. It's practice. If it's me and Siren, let's say we're doing a Zoom appointment, right, or whatever, and he or she's telling me how they feel, and I ask them a question. I don't know. Great answer. Good. Good. You don't know how you feel, and that's okay. Sometimes people feel like they'll have to lie or like say something because they feel like they have to give a response. If you don't know how you feel, it's perfectly fine to sit there in your feelings and not know what you feel and just be okay. Sometimes we can sit there in silence. We can sit there in silence. I don't know what y'all's therapists do, but sometimes we'll sit there in silence like this. It's fine that you don't know what you feel right now. That's okay. You can just take some time, catch your breath. It's all good. Take some time while I, type something here real quick. Take some time for yourself. No rush. We don't have to rush nothing. We don't have to rush nothing. Silence is powerful. Silence is golden. Silence is not a bad thing. And I would much rather somebody tell me they don't know, and then we can. And when you say I don't know, you have to give yourself a love of the show, right? You gotta give yourself a love of the show because you answered something truthfully. That was your truth at that moment. So if you tell me you don't know and you really didn't know, you're doing a good job. You have to give yourself credit for that. Any points that we can take to boost our self-esteem, we need to take those points. We need to take those points. It's kind of like when you're watching football and then the coach tries to go for it on like 4th and goal from like the 17-yard line. No, kick a field goal. Take those points. If y'all are football fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. If not, you're like, this guy is weird, right? And so Lindy, Rex, depending on what you're talking about, it's a psychiatric evaluation, either psychiatrist, psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, or a psychologist. And my mental health makes me right. It makes you who you are, and you should not be ashamed of that. You should not be ashamed of that. Unmasking is like taking off $5 wallpaper and who said this? PDA or taking off $5 wallpaper and finding gold-plated walls underneath. Oh my goodness, I've never seen this type of description before. I like this. I like this. I like this. And guys, whenever I think my Alexa thought I said something. I feel more productive when I'm alone. Overstimulation makes it harder to focus. Right. So you know yourself. You know that when you have too much stimulation, it's not good for you. It's good to know yourself and take note of patterns. And guys, whenever we get to the 30-minute mark of every live stream, we do something called the water break. And there's a magic word that we have to drop in the chat so we can start the water break. Y'all may not know it because I'm seeing a lot of y'all coming from YouTube and you might be new. But if anybody from Facebook knows the magic word, please drop that in the chat and then we can get the water break. If not, let me know. There we go. Haley, no worries. Thank you so much for your time. I'm happy that you're able to come on, and this live stream will be there tomorrow, and we'll go live again tomorrow night. So I hope I get to see you tomorrow, and until then, have a nice night. Let me see in the UK. So I'm still learning about the CAMHS service in the UK. I've heard, all kinds of things about it, but I'm not in the UK, so I can't specifically speak on it. All right, so Lana knows the magic word. The magic word is cheers. So cheers is the magic word. It's time to get some water in, y'all. A lot of times, those of us who have ADHD or, even autism for that matter, but more specifically ADHD, we forget to drink water. We forget a lot of things throughout the day. So this gives us a chance to go ahead and get some fluids in. Whatever you're sipping on is going to work, whether it's water, whether it's some type of Halloween juice. Either way, it's time to drink up. Big cheers, y'all. Jared, no problem. I need that water reminder too. Look, clearly I'm thirsty. Clearly I was not drinking enough water today. I went to the gym and everything, so I need to be drinking water. I have to be hydrated. Cheetos and water. Hey, nothing wrong with the Cheetos. Aiden, I appreciate you. Yeah, and look, and also that's why I also say thank you for you all as well, because y'all don't realize that like this is my platform. This is my show. I get to do what I want, and I have you all's attention, and I'm very grateful for that. So because of that, I can come out here and be myself. Right? This is as me as it gets. This is me. This is me. And this platform lends itself to being yourself. Right? And how have I been able to unmask? Because I come on here and I have well, this is Facebook and YouTube. So but between those two, I have almost 1 million followers and a couple million more on other platforms. So whenever I look through DMs and comments, people are talking about the same things that I'm going through. So it makes me feel a lot less alone. And I have constant reminders of the fact that, all right, Kojo, yeah, it's a bad hour. It's not a bad day. It's a bad day. It's not a bad week. It's a bad week. It's not a bad month. It's a bad month. It's not a bad life. Right? So keeping things in perspective and allowing yourself to just be. Just be. You can be. You don't have to be. Sometimes we're not at our best. Sometimes I'm just being. I'm just here. I'm just here and I'm just doing the best that I can. It might not be the best that I could do, but it's just the best that I can, right? People see me and assume that I don't have ADHD, MDD, and CRPS. It affects me every day and stops me to do daily tasks. Is it because I mask every day, or am I able to trick people around me? So Ash, it could be a lot of different things, right? Just having just stop at the ADHD part for right now. Just having ADHD by itself, even before we get to depression, that can be draining. It can be draining to do the daily tasks with ADHD, and then you throw in depression, it's become way more harder, right? So whether it's a masking thing, it could be all the above. I'm not sure. I don't know you, but it's important for you to give yourself some grace. You know, I've had terrible experiences with CBT therapy, basically masking therapy, from being nonverbal and institutionalized as a kid, now dysfunctional as an adult. Where would you suggest looking for help? That's a great question. That's a fantastic question. So I saw somebody in here said EMDR. Now, I'm not trained in EMDR, right? But I've heard a lot of people say EMDR is very helpful. Some people say it's been very helpful for them and their trauma, and for you. So what I do know about what you need is you need somebody who understands you, right? And it's funny because like I remember being in school, and I remember like school was difficult for me, right? Trying to learn all the therapies and CBT, and then having to sometimes stay back at the hospital like a couple hours longer because I just didn't know the difference between schizoaffective disorder and bipolar disorder with psychosis. So I used to go and ask all the different psychiatrists. I'm like, can you explain this to me? I don't get this. It took me so long to get it, right? But for me, I'm not so like gung-ho about CBT, like we gotta stick to CBT. You could get with a therapist who understands a neurodivergent brain, who comes from a CBT type model, who can give you a space to be yourself, giving you pauses, letting you control the therapy. You should be in the driver's seat. You're the one in the driver's seat. You're the one in the driver's seat, not them. But like as therapists, sometimes we do this all too often where we look at patients like, oh, just that we follow a cookie cutter model, and we're like, all right, this is you can't really do that, especially with an autistic patient. You can't do that. You have to give them the space to be themselves, but they may not have had a lot of practice of being themselves. So whether you're using pauses, whether you're trying to make something as simple as adjusting the room to make it okay for you could be helpful, right? If the lights are too bright, like obviously I don't think that's affecting y'all at home, but if those lights are too bright, adjust that, turn it away. If the music is too loud in the next room over, maybe ask the other therapist, hey, can you lower your voice a little bit because it's a little bit too loud for my patient. Stuff like that. That shows that you care. You know, so I hope that's helpful. Is Kendra in here? Hey, what's going on? Happy Halloween. Why don't you get the notification? Well, we're still working on this notification thing with Facebook and Meta. So yeah, that's something you have to make sure that system works. But I'm glad you're here. And I think I saw that Kendra was here. She's a moderator. Well, I saw Kendra's name. And I agree with plans creatively. You can break up with a non-compatible therapist. So let's say anybody in here, let's say you go to therapy and for the first time, it's your first time, and then you just don't click with the person. You go a second and third time, you don't click. Fire your therapist. Like in therapy, we're there for y'all. Like I don't think people realize that. We're not there for ourselves. You know, we're there for y'all. You know? I finally felt ready and the courage to change my name on Facebook. So here, no more confusion. You deserve a love of the show. I'm so proud of you. I love you, and I'm happy that you can live in your authentic truth. Congratulations, Austin. And this whole community supports you, whether you know it or not. This whole community supports you. Oh! You were asking for I don't think are you tagging them to see if they can come in? Hopefully they can come in. I know it's late, but tomorrow's live stream won't be late, so that should be good. Mark safe from trick or treating. Elizabeth, how are you doing? My therapist has also ADHD. So look, Jedi, I do want to make mention this. I should mention it earlier, but me having ADHD, in my opinion, I feel like that makes me one of the better psychotherapists for most people who are going through this because I can spot it. I can see ADHD from a mile away. Like if I'm just walking down the street, I can see, and not really, but like I can watch somebody and I'm like, this person's acting a lot like me. I won't know until like you go to the official evaluation, but I think me having ADHD, I mean, not the best for my personal life, right? It costs me a lot of money. I'm all over the place. But as a clinician, me having ADHD is most definitely a superpower. And Ivar, interesting question, but a lot of times you use the same medications for anxiety and depression. So, and it just depends. Like, it depends on the person, their genetic makeup, and the medication. So, this is a very complicated type of thing. It would be medication specific too, probably. All right, the second tip on how to unmask. I've been getting sidetracked. Sorry. When I disclose my ADHD to someone, how should I respond when they say something like everyone has ADHD these days or something else dismissive? I have the perfect answer for you, Strawberry BBT. A great name, by the way. But if somebody dismisses your ADHD and there's somebody who you're not that close to, or there's somebody you're meeting for the first time, say, okay, and then walk away. We don't argue with people around here. That's going to take up energy. We don't argue with folks. Say, okay, cool. If it's your mom or somebody who you're close to or a spouse, send them one of my videos or send them somebody else's videos who makes this type of content online. But if it's somebody that you're not that close to, you don't have to waste your energy. Say, okay, thank you. I appreciate you. And you have your name legally changed next year. All right, no, that makes sense because tax season is dreadful. It's dreadful. Let me click this before I get to the second tip. Calling ADHD a mental illness makes it sound like a sickness or a strictly negative thing. ADHD is a condition characterized by several traits that may cause a person to struggle, but may also help people be creative. Brain differences are the only disorders of where society places its values. All right, so okay, horse force. I see this as your take on ADHD. I respect it. I know what ADHD is. I'm well aware. And look, we can get to semantics or whatever, but it's a mental illness. I don't know how else to say it. It's a mental illness. Why is that so scary? Like why is mental illness so scary? If anything, what's scary to me is somebody who has a undiagnosed mental illness who's trying their best to get through life, but because of the lack of knowledge about their mental health condition and the lack of resources, they're struggling, they're self-sabotaging, they're all over the place. They're doing the best to keep things together. But because they don't have the resources, because they don't know what's going on, they're just struggling in life. We see suicide rates go up high for that. We see depression goes up high when you're just when you're aware of a problem, but you don't know how to change it. Is very difficult. So if anything, I'm afraid of undiagnosed mental illness versus mental illness. And I'm not afraid of undiagnosed mental illness in the term of like, where I'm scared. No, I fear for like what could happen if we don't help out that person in time. So I'm not afraid of the word mental illness at all. And I'm trying to get y'all to think like that if possible. All right. So the second thing to do when you're trying to learn how to unmask, put yourself first and figure out what you enjoy. What activities could you do all by yourself? All by yourself without anybody being there, right? If it's a special interest that you're a little bit ashamed of, lean into that. Lean into that thing. Lean into it all the way. Put yourself first. And it's really hard to put yourself first because that requires setting boundaries. That requires speaking up for yourself. That requires loving yourself to some degree to be able to have the energy and the confidence to do all those things I just mentioned. Figure out what you enjoy. What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy? And more than likely, the thing that you enjoy that you're not like putting out there, you know, and broadcasting is something that you might be ashamed of. What are you ashamed of? What are you ashamed of? What are you ashamed of? Right? Put yourself first and figure out what you enjoy. You know, and sometimes like when you mask for so long, like you figure out what a person like you should do. So take myself, I'm 6'3", 210 pounds. I'm in shape. I go to the gym. So it's like if you see me just like walking on the street, like you might think that all I do is work out and just work out, and like I probably look like I play sports and work out and that's all that I do. But no, I do this. I come out here. I like to go live. I like to make mental health videos. I like to make comedy videos. I do stand up comedy. I love football. I love football. I love music. I love all types of music. Yeah, I listen to hip hop and rap. I listen to Taylor Swift. Um, what's the album with Sparks Fly? I be bumping Taylor Swift on the 405 in LA. I don't care. Windows down, everything. Top down, everything. I'll be on Ventura Boulevard bumping Taylor Swift. I don't care. I don't care. Black guys can listen to Taylor Swift too. Like, you know, like what do you enjoy? Now, Taylor Swift is not my favorite artist of all time. I'm not gonna lie and say that, but I'll put on the Fearless album and play it all the way through. There's no skips on that album. And then she got an album called Taylor Swift, like just her name. Those are the only ones that I know. Because like I know old Taylor Swift, you know, but like whatever, like whatever you enjoy, you have the right to enjoy that thing. You know, you have the right to enjoy that thing. You can enjoy whatever you want, right? I remember a phrase that we used to have back in Georgia. Whenever I was talking with the guys, we would always say, "You ain't got to lie to kick it. You don't have to lie to kick it." Just another way of saying, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Whatever you enjoy. You like Sudoku or Sudoku, however they say it. Play some Sudoku. Don't put it up because your friends came over and like, oh, you're a nerd. You're like, no, play your Sudoku. Do what you want to do, right? This is gonna help you. It's gonna help you get back to your authentic self. And when you're out in public somewhere and you're playing Sudoku and you're bumping Taylor Swift, and somebody else sits down next to you, like, oh, I love this song right here. I went to her concert at SoFi or whatever. I went to her concert in Kansas City. I went to her concert in Tallahassee, Florida. I went to her concert in Nashville. Okay. You like Sudoku? I love Sudoku. The sooner you start leaning into yourself, the easier it becomes to find people who will accept you for you, right? And I forgot to mention, as you unmask too, you start to realize that a lot of your connections weren't as genuine, and you may lose friends. I forgot. I should have mentioned that at the top of the show. I should have mentioned that. I forgot. I should not have forgotten that. Right? You may lose some friends, right? But any friend they lose who wasn't genuine, who didn't want to support you as a person, that's addition by subtraction, in my opinion, right? But it may be a lonely period that you have to go through. I've been trying to unmask, and it's putting some strain on our relationship. I was just talking about this. Been trying to unmask, and it's putting some strain on our relationships in my life. It's always like people are just waiting for me to get normal and stop talking about what I'm feeling. So, Sean, and look, my heart goes out to you because like I've had to go through this type of thing as well. And it's difficult because you've built key friendships, key relationships with these people, and you love these people, and like they love you back, right? They love what they've seen of you. But now comes the true test. Do they really love you when you're talking about, let's say you like Sudoku, right? Do they love you when you start to talk about Sudoku? No, you tell a close friend, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm late to your house. I was playing Sudoku all day, and they're like, okay. They may not want to hear about that, right? But it'd be cool to tell somebody I was playing Sudoku all day, and like, oh, okay, how was it? Was it cool? Did you? Like it feels good when we talk to people and we ask them questions, and based off the questions they ask us back, we can tell that there's a genuine interest there. It feels so good. And on the other hand, when you don't get that, I've come to find out that I kind of like that too. Like I like that too because it shows that okay, like maybe this person could be like a acquaintance, but they're not going to be a friend. You know, I remember being on a date here. What was it? A couple months. It was a while back. I went I went on a date with this girl, and and look, I have ADHD. I'm talking, and I've been talking for 50 minutes straight. I could talk y'all's heads off for 3 hours. I know I could do that. I go on a date with this girl. I don't think I said 30 words. She was talking the whole way through. I was like, okay, all right, cool, cool, cool. And like I asked her a couple of questions. Okay, you know, like what are you doing here in Los Angeles? Like where do you see yourself? Like, you know, like I just know you from the gym, but like what do you do when you're not at the gym? She talked, she talked, she talked, she talked, she talked. And then maybe like halfway through the date, I realized, hold up, this Mickey Ficky hasn't asked me a single question by myself. And she just kept going on. I'm like, all right, cool, 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 cool. All right, cool. And I said a couple of things about myself, and she went back to herself. And I'm like, oh, okay. She probably was just not interested. And maybe something else could have been going on, but I took it as a sign that, okay, like her, and she's just not interested. And that's cool because now I have an answer. I have an answer. You're either in or you're out. The worst thing to do is not have an answer and to be like on the fence. Is this person in my life? Like what's going on? I'd rather know. So like I'm not concerned about the outcome if they're going to be a friend or not, or a girlfriend or not, or whatever. I just want some clarity, right? I just want some clarity. You do so much. I don't know how you keep it all straight. If I get two things done a day, I count it as a win. So Elizabeth, I do a lot because I have a team around me. Without my team, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Like I have like I require so much help. Like one, two, three, four. I'm thinking of 5 people right now that I need to like live my life. There's no way I can do all this and not run out of energy. A lot of times I am burnt out and I take a break. But I need a team, like I need an assistant, I need a publicist, I need all these people. I could not do this without my team. I'm telling you, there's no way possible. So like I've learned how to multiply myself to have a business and to have a social media business and make entertainment videos and educational videos and do all this stuff. But without that team, I would fall apart. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Elizabeth, maybe she had ADHD too, baby. If she had told me that from the jump, maybe that'd be my girlfriend right now. All right. If she had told me that from the jump. All right. And the last tip right here, you gotta find your people. You gotta find your people. And the first 2 steps make finding your people a lot easier. And Austin, thank you so much for all right, I gotta find my book. But thank you for dropping the page number for my book. So for those people who have the book can use that in the workbook. And Feeling Good is the book right there. Let me see what he says. When you enjoy things with yourself is the best feeling ever. It's helpful to build a good relationship. Right. Yeah. Solitude is nice sometimes. We shouldn't self-isolate for like long periods of time, but solitude is nice sometimes, right? Find your people. You gotta find your people. So one of the best things about this community is like nobody just followed me just because they're like, oh, I want to follow Kojo. What's Kojo doing? That's not how I got like this whole everybody here. No, people followed me because more than likely the algorithm sent you. The algorithm showed you a couple of videos about ADHD or autism, or maybe it was like a funny, silly comedy skit or something. The algorithm sent you something, and you were picking up what I put down. And you're like, I like his videos. I'm gonna follow him. And more than likely, if you're here, you have some type of vested interest in ADHD, autism, bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, seasonal depression, mental health, something like that. Or maybe you think I'm funny, or I don't know. Maybe you like me. Maybe you hate me. Maybe you hate me. I don't know. I don't know. But for the most part, if you're here, you like some of the mental health content that I've been posting, right? So naturally, this is going to be a community of people who all are interested in this type of thing. They're interested in self-improvement. They're interested in learning how they can better their lives. They're interested in learning how they can better the lives of other people around them, right? So this community naturally is going to be a place where you find people who have similar interests. So this community whether it's a Discord. And Austin, if you have the Discord link, could you drop it in the chat? If not, I gotta find that. But the Discord is a great place to get in there, talk with people, And I'm gonna work on getting somebody on my team to help manage the Discord, because there's a lot of things going on for me. And I'm learning. This is the first year that I really realized that, damn, Kojo, if we don't like delegate, you're gonna run yourself to the ground. You need the help. Use your assistant, Kojo. I'm talking to myself. Use your publicist. Use your graphic designer. Use your video editor. Use everybody, because you cannot do it on your own. So stop trying to control everything and use your people, right? So that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning right now. But you've got to find your people. When you're around other people who don't make you feel bad for being burnt out. Let's say you have autistic burnout and you're just at home. Someone who doesn't make you feel bad for like staying to yourself. Someone who doesn't make you feel bad for needing the lights to be dimmed. Someone who doesn't make you feel bad for when you come to them, you're like, hey, can you turn on that music? Is this loud? Someone who doesn't make you feel bad for when you're like, can you stop chewing that gum? Like I want to pull my hair out. Can you please stop chewing the gum? Please. Can you stop smacking with your mouth open? Please. Please. Someone who doesn't make you feel bad for how you are. Your confidence is going to go here. And we have to be so much more mindful about our self-esteem and how we feel about ourselves. That's so crucial. It's so crucial. Plans creatively. Hey, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, I appreciate you, because more than likely I'm picking up what y'all are putting down in the comment section as well. That's why, going back to the early point, somebody said, like, put the creator's name of the reaction in the video. Hey, we're learning around here. We're solution based. We're learning. We're going to figure out everything. So if somebody comes and they have constructive criticism, please let me know. I don't mind confrontation. In fact, I don't mind confrontation. I don't welcome it, but I don't mind it. But when it has when confrontation has like a constructive theme to it, bring it on all the time. Please bring it on, because I want to get better, and I will get better. And I'm counting on y'all to let me know how we can get better. Let me see. You're real. You try to induce humor. I've got ADHD bad. Hitting 35-year-old with 2 toddlers. The challenges of all. And Sean, look, you got 2 toddlers. So if you had no ADHD and 2 toddlers, life is tough. 2 toddlers, and I don't have any kids, but I'm coming to find out that there's a big difference between 1 child and 2 kids. And there's a big difference between 2 kids and 3 kids. I don't know at what point, 3 to 4 or 4 to 5, when it becomes easier, but 1 or 2 is a big jump. 2 to 3 is a big jump. So sometimes, Sean, all you can do is just sit there and laugh. Just laugh. And when we laugh, it makes us present in the moment. It helps out with the anxiety. So laughing is very important. I was an RC in a group home of 7 individuals, then traveling CNA, and now I just prefer to work at the gas station and just do my job and go home. And Elizabeth, look, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we all do this type of thing as we get older. We learn what we like, we learn what we don't like. What we don't like, let's put it away. What we like, let's embrace it. I was on TikTok Live the other day talking to my followers, and they were talking about why don't you open up your own medical business or whatever, blah, blah. And I did have a psychiatry business that we ran for less than a year, right? And I realized that I could come to your hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and work for a week. If they let me do that, I think that'd be fun. I can come to your hospital in Orlando, Florida, and see patients for 3 days or a weekend. If they let me do that, that'd be cool. But to run my own thing, I don't want to run a healthcare business, because it wouldn't work. I take too long with the patients. I might go over 30. I need to get all the information. I can't work quickly. I'd rather run my entertainment business. So I'm learning that now I don't want to make money off of healthcare, because I'm not going to help out the patients. I need to feel like I'm helping out the patients. So as we get older, we adjust and we figure out what we like, and then we go off of that. All right. Let me see. Learning is an endless experience. Yeah, it is. And the moment you stop learning, you become stagnant. How can I get better at being okay with people negatively reacting to the real me? Well, Natalie, this takes practice. Okay, it takes practice, and you have to understand that other people's opinions of you is none of your business. People will always have an opinion of you. Why do we care? Why do we care? And so you have to sit there and ask yourself, why do I care? Because there's certain people's opinions that you actually really care about, and other people you're like, whatever. Like Natalie, the very plans creatively is on top of you in this chat, right? If they say that you're a bad person, you be like, I don't know them. That's fine. Now, if it's somebody who is close to you, if they don't like the real you, that's gonna hurt you. So it's steps, right? It's steps. But we have to realize that other people's opinions of you is none of your business, right? And hopefully, I hope you get to the point where if somebody continues to disrespect you and they talk down to you, you just silently just separate yourself from them. That's one of two options. The other option, you can tell them to go kick rocks. You know, you don't have to get there, but like nobody's opinion of you is more important than how you feel about yourself. So you got to feel good about yourself. Kayla, I appreciate you, my guy. I feel so different from people all the time. I'm getting tired of it. How about we switch that into I feel so different from people all the time. I'm loving it because that's how I am. Like, guys, look. Let's be real. It's almost 11 o'clock in Los Angeles, California, where I live, which means that it's almost 2 a.m. for y'all on the East Coast. If you're watching this live, if you're watching the playback, it's whatever time it is for you. All right. You have this psychotherapist. I'm a doctor. I'm sitting here with a Mario hat and a blue scrub jacket, talking to y'all about mental health. I'm doing it my way. Like clearly, that place could be a little bit cleaner. It could be a bit cleaner. Yeah. I don't care. Like I'm not worried about that. People have something to say, but who cares? I'm sitting here with a Mario hat, talking about mental health and ADHD and autism. Clearly, I don't care because I feel like I'm bringing value to y'all. Like I've never seen another therapist online come here with a Mario hat. And then what was my other Halloween thing? It was this thing right here. A normal therapist doesn't do this. This is weird. This is weird. Or as my friends back home would say, they'd say, this is some weird shit, Kojo. This is weird. All right. But you only get to this point by not caring. I don't care. Like if they say that, I don't care. Okay, I'm here for y'all. So why do I care about what they say? And most of them like it. But if they don't like it, it means nothing to me. Like I just don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm not even sorry. I just don't care. And here's a link for the Discord if you want to join that community. So thank you, Austin, for that. I appreciate that. Elizabeth, I appreciate you. If Elizabeth has co-signed me, I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to go backwards and read a couple of comments. All right, I'll be on for 8 more minutes. Let me see. I actually quit trying to force the 9 to 5 because it wasn't best for me. You got to do. The 9 to 5 might not work for a lot of people. You may want to work from home. You might want to do 11 a.m. to 7. But whatever you need to do for yourself, when you feel like yourself, you're going to feel more like a rock star. It's going to be good for your confidence. People will sense that attractive energy off of you. We got to get you to where you enjoy yourself and you enjoy what you're doing. Very important. Need help with my insurance won't cover online the closest clock. This is tough. This is tough. Oh man, I'm not the biggest fan of insurance. I'll admit that. I would say you could do psychology today and look for people in your area, or you can find somebody who is in a different state or who may have a license to practice in your state who could do telepsych. That's probably my best suggestion. I hope this is helpful. I read that people should have access to support, and I know the struggles are no joke. However, I do think that the term illness is stigmatizing and can make people feel like there's something wrong with them rather than they have unique brain. So, Horse Force, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. You got a point. Mental illness, mental health condition. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I'm not the biggest. I'm not that good at semantics and figuring how things are worded, but I definitely see what you're saying. You're probably saying that if we call it a mental health condition, it can make people feel better about themselves. And probably to the average person in the public, that would probably be less stigmatizing, more than likely, because people hear mental illness and they get scared. People get scared. That's so true. Sometimes I'm not happy with myself because of other people's expectations. I'm actually doing the best I can. I want to accept that, even if other people don't. Yeah, look, Leanne, this is something that takes a long time to learn. And me, look, I was a failing student in high school. Like nothing was going right for me. I thought my life was over, and then I managed to get to college and I caught fire. I got a nursing degree, went back, I got a second one. I got my doctorate, I got my NP, I did forensic psychiatry, then I did TikTok. And then after a couple of hundreds of thousands of followers, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I have permission to like myself a lot more now. It took me a while to get to where I am, but in that journey, I had to stop caring about people's opinions. I had to stop caring about people's opinions. When I first started TikTok, I'll be in my office in Southern Virginia in a forensic psych hospital. I will come super early before the patients will come or before the patients will wake up. I come early. I put my phone there and I start recording my TikToks. I would dance in my office. I make sure the door's locked so nobody could walk in. But I would dance in my office. I didn't care. I didn't care. It was a joke at first. It was a joke at first. 4 million followers almost later. It's not a joke anymore. That's not a joke. So if you care about what people think, you're going to, you all don't know the things you're missing out on because of somebody else's opinion of you. And a lot of these folks don't even care about you. It's people that you don't even like, And sometimes it is people that, we lack in our family. And it becomes really difficult when it's family, when it's your spouse, when it's your cousin, when it's a sibling. It becomes so difficult. And I'm not the best at boundaries. I'm still learning. If y'all have tips, drop them in the chat. I'm still learning as well. I'm still learning. But I know that we only have one life. We only have one life. Once it's over, it's done. And you owe it to yourself to be who you are. You owe it to yourself to do what you want to do, right? So other people's opinions of you should never cripple you. And it'll take time. It'll take time, but don't judge yourself. I'm going backwards with the comments. Can traits of neurodivergency develop due to trauma in childhood? So this is a good question right here, Angel. It's a good question. It's a good question. I read a statistic that said that 70% of people with ADHD go on to develop depression. But only 3% of people with depression go on to develop ADHD. So I do think some traits of neurodivergency could develop. Which traits those are specifically, I'm not sure. And I don't have any evidence-based information to back it up. So I can't say this with certainty because, we use evidence-based information. That's what we do. Even when I'm, making my videos online, I don't want to mislead y'all. So we use evidence-based information. So I'm not sure about the answer to this question, but I would not be surprised if they could develop. And also on the inverse side, the neurodivergent journey as a child can be traumatic too. So there's something there. Hey, Sean, I'm about to get off in 3 minutes too. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your attention. And tomorrow's live stream, we go on 6 p.m. California time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. So it'll be at a better time than tonight. And Austin, thank you for posting the link to my workbook. I really appreciate it. And this book has been one of my greatest accomplishments. And I'm happy that it's out there to the public and people enjoy it. Best tip is to remember that we aren't in control of their words, only our ability to be in control. Or exactly. Plans creatively. I hope you come to every live stream because I'm picking up what you're putting down. Everybody got a mouth of a pity. We're all human. Yeah. And everybody's, look, good point. We are all allowed to have an opinion. And people are allowed to have an opinion about your life and what you choose to do, who you choose to be with, what you choose to do in your free time. People can have an opinion about that, but you have every right to not care. I appreciate this video. Thank you. Sidharth, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, so this has been a great live stream. It's been an awesome live stream, and we'll come back tomorrow with another live stream, 6 p.m. California time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. For those of y'all in Central Time, if you're in Houston, if you're in Nashville, it'll be 8 o'clock your time. So we'll be back on at that time. Austin, I appreciate you too. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. And I can't wait to see all of y'all at that time. I know it's late. It's hella late. Like it's like hella late. So we'll go ahead and thank you. We'll go ahead and call the wraps on this live stream. I will see you all tomorrow night. Jared, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Keys, I appreciate you. Until then, take care of yourselves. Get some rest. Let's take it one thing at a time, one day at a time. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I love y'all. Peace.